What's up? Wipe down. What's up, boo? How are you? Oh, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Seeing you here makes my day. It really do. You really brightened up my day just now. Hey, Kathy B. Hey, mamita. What is up, everybody? I forgot. What's today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Your girl is live. Your girl is up in the building. Let me see them thumbs up for your girl. Welcome to Brooklyn Squad, real life drama, real life crimes. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about why I haven't been live, but I still been dropping. And then we're going to get into Black Girls Missing and why we don't get enough attention. Like, what's going on? And I kind of figured an idea of a little bit about what's going on, and I was shocked. And it all has to do with social media. But let me let y'all know, I started writing my book, so that's why I haven't been on like that. Okay, your girl started writing her book. All right. Yes, I started writing my book. It goes down from when I was a child, and it's going to be all the way up to now. Uh, Yeah, as you enter the chat, hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, baby. So your girl has been focused on getting this book going because I have been saying, people have been telling me, and Kat to be is one of them, who've been saying, you need to write your book. You need to write your book. Katie's been telling me that too. You need to put a book out. You know what I'm saying? Even my caseworkers on some real shit. Like people that know my story. And I hesitated because I didn't know really where to start from. But I looked some things up and I just thought Kathy B said, just write. Just start writing. Sharon Nation told me a while back too, just start writing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I'm doing it. I'm writing. Every day I'm writing. I'm writing. I'm writing. Um, and I will be publishing it. So I'm really excited about that. I got some stuff that is going to go in my book. Well, the things that's been going on now, the stuff that started since I was a child, that's hitting right now, baby, it's gonna be in my book. Different names though, different names. So they names won't be in my book, but yes, shit is gonna be in my book. So that's what I've been doing. I also been dropping on my new channel, Brooklyn Squad. Come get that smoke. That's a lot of celebrity gossip stuff. That's a lot of I don't know where I really want to go with that channel. I really wanted to go with celebrity gossip a little bit, but I'm actually thinking about doing reviews and stuff like that. It would be cool if I could do reviews on movies also. So I don't know, but we'll see. You know, if you just joined that, yeah. So welcome to Brooklyn Squad Real Life Drama. I got a little bit of anxiety right now, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is I have to still come on here, right? And still help those that need help, regardless of what I'm going through. Okay? Regardless of what I'm going through. I still got to show up. Okay? Because this channel, right, was for when I found out about Jelani Day. But Jelani Day is not the only Black person out there that needs justice. We have millions of thousands of people that needs help. Carol Cole, Jelani Day. I mean, the list could go on and on. I mean, we could just get a whole bunch of, like, the list could go on and on. You know what I'm saying? They never went viral. John Bonet. Remember John Bonet, the little girl? She went viral everywhere. They're talking about her to this day. And they still haven't found out who killed the little girl. Blonde little girl with beautiful blue eyes. Good morning, my princess, Katie. I mean, good afternoon. I'm saying good morning, girl. Beautiful blonde little girl. She was unalive on Christmas Day or the day before Christmas or Christmas Day. Okay, we talking about probably, I don't know, 20 years ago. I don't know how long, but it's been so long ago. And they're still talking about her today. Because she was blonde hair, white girl with blue eyes. Right? Carol Cole, Black girl, brown eyes. What happened? Jelani Day, college student, Black guy, brown skin, athlete, great swimmer, organs missing. Not talked about ever again in the news. Basically was even brought up. And then made fun of because they had a smile on their face, the lady. And we'll get into that later. I want to show you something. I watched the movie. Also, guys, I got my copyright up. I watched a movie called Black Girl Missing. I want to show you something because we always wonder, right, why we don't get enough attention. What's up? You've seen parents. If you haven't seen, go back on my playlist and look at the interviews that I've done with parents, right, that have talked about them not getting attention from the public or the police, right, when they tell them that their child is missing, or even their child being unalive, they have not gotten no justice at all. Go back and look at my playlist, right? It will show interviews with parents. I was watching a movie and it was called Black Girls Missing. And the actress in there played with Jamie Foxx back in the days. And her daughter was a college student, right? And she went missing. First of all, she had a dream that she went missing first. But then she wanted to go missing, right? She couldn't get the help that she needed because there was another little girl, there was another woman, a young teenager that went missing at the same time, but a little bit before she went missing. And she was a white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what the focus was on, was her. But when her daughter went missing, the Black girl, the police did not take it serious at all. I want y'all to watch something. Check this out.
I just hope that her picture would be on every news channel. I can't even get in touch with the detective assigned to her case. Lauren! We're gonna find her.
Black Girl Missing.
It's the new Lifetime movie, Black Girl Missing.
Garcelle Beauvais stars as a distraught mother of a missing college student. The movie is based on the very real disparity in media coverage for missing Black women and girls compared to their white counterparts. It's an issue we've been working to address here at News 3 with our Have You Seen Me series. In fact, a local case we have featured for years is highlighted at the end of this movie.
Kier Johnson, Hampton, Virginia, last seen April 30th, 2017. Still missing.
It's hard to believe, but next month marks 6 years since Kier Johnson and her baby girl Chloe vanished from the peninsula. They never became household names like John Benet Ramsey or Gabby Petito. In fact, no missing Black or brown person has garnered that type of coverage. The movie executive behind this new Lifetime film tells me that needs to change.
My daughter has been missing for 16 days.
Garcelle Beauvais plays a mother forced to find her daughter on her own after police and reporters don't rise to meet her cries for help.
National is focused on Jessica Russo.
And no one cares about a missing Black girl.
The drama draws on the real-life experiences of Black families fighting for national news coverage.
He said that was her boss. You know what? I owe Patreon movie night, right? We're going to watch this movie. If you are not part of my Patreon, you might want to go and be a part of my Patreon. We do movie night, but we're going to talk about that after this, though. And we're going to watch this movie. He told her the public is focused on the other girl. And I don't know if they're going to show you, but he says because the views, the fucking views, y'all. Can you believe that? The views. I couldn't believe that when I heard him say that.
What do you say to those families who
Her daughter on her own after police and reporters don't rise to meet her cries for help.
National is focused on Jessica Russo.
And no one cares about a missing Black girl.
The drama draws on the real-life experiences of Black families fighting for national news coverage.
What do you say to those families who are directly impacted?
We see you and we care.
Karen Kaufman-Wilson is the director of programming for Lifetime. She says as a Black woman, this project felt personal.
First time I watched the first cut, I cried like 3 times. We don't have in our community a name like Gabby Petito or Natalie Holloway or anything. We just don't have it. And we need to change that.
Wilson tells me writers enlisted the help of the Black and Missing Foundation for the script to ensure art imitated the truth of what Black families face.
Every family that has a missing loved one, their heart bleeds the same way.
That's why the film shines a light on real-life missing Black women and girls who should be household names. Like Relisha Rudd, a little Black girl who went missing in D.C. in 2014. Starletta Henderson, missing from Louisiana since 2012. And Kier and Chloe Johnson, missing from Newport News since 2017.
It makes me feel good that people that don't know my sister, they actually loved her in a sense.
Tier Petway is Johnson's twin sister. She told me that she, like the mother in the movie, hit brick walls trying to get expanded media coverage.
When my sister first went missing, I would contact radio stations and, it's like you would just get pushed to the side. Yo, we care, well, we support, but do we really support?
In the 6 years since Kier and Chloe vanished, they haven't become household names outside of Hampton Roads. Petway's hope of seeing her sister alive again has faded.
Is it your belief that Kier and Chloe are gone?
I think they are. I do. Somebody she trusted did something to her. That's what I think. To them, I should say.
Still, she'd welcome the closure additional exposure might bring.
I know it's not going to bring her back, but I need a peace of mind.
The mother in the movie was able to find and rescue her child, mostly because she took matters into her own hands.
Right.
The filmmakers hope the next family will get the help they deserve.
Our goal is to find one. just one. If we could get one, we would have done our job.
Now, this disparity in coverage isn't just perceived, there is data behind it. A study in a criminal journal analyzing news coverage found that while Black people make up nearly 40% of all missing persons cases, white women were overrepresented, receiving more than half of national news coverage, even though they make up less than a third of all missing persons cases. So we launched our Have You Seen Me series to help address the disparity. You can see my special reports at WTKR.com. As for Kira and Chloe, Newport News police tell me this week they are working with prosecutors to pursue leads that would help close the case. And the Police Foundation in Newport News is also offering a $25,000 reward for information. Our time now is 8:48.
A Lifetime original movie ripped from the headlines.
Hi, it's Cheryl. Have you spoken to Lauren? Just having a hard time reaching her. I had a little argument with my eldest.
You chased her away, and now she won't even talk to me.
You haven't heard from her since she left? I think my daughter's missing.
Inspired by actual stories.
I just hoped that her picture would be on every news channel. I can't even get in touch with the detective assigned to her case.
I think there's a story here, Russ.
No, National is focused on Jessica Russo, a ratings knockout.
And no one cares about a missing Black girl.
Garcelle Beauvais.
So until my daughter is murdered, she's not newsworthy.
Half a dozen Black and brown women between the ages of 18 and 30, they've gone missing in this area in the last 2 years.
Sorry, you know news isn't news anymore, it's ratings. And the public goes nuts for a pretty little blonde girl.
My daughter is missing. What should I do? Lauren! We're gonna find her.
Black Girl Missing. Premieres Saturday, March 4th at 8. Only on Lifetime.
Because the ratings, that hit me hard. When people of color go missing, you cannot barely get them on a news report. Jelani Day's mother, and I'm going to use her as an example because I've heard this out of her own mouth, say she could not get the news to do anything. Her friend had to videotape her talking about her missing child, and that's how it got out on social media big like that. The news didn't call Miss Jelani's mother and say, hey, you know, we would like you to come on and this and this and that. No, it did not happen like that. Her friend had to freaking take a freaking camera and videotape Jelani's mother talking. Why is it? And now I know it's because of the ratings. He said it. That when we go missing, we can't even get a poster up. You know, when I first started this channel, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? They don't want to talk, they don't want to hear about, say, trying to help people and get justice and shit, because all I saw was celebrity gossip getting mad views. Messiness getting mad views. Food eating, getting like eating food and stuff like that, getting more views. making your fucking bed up, getting more people watching you make your bed, getting more views than someone that's putting a black missing person on the internet saying, hey, she's missing, please share. What the fuck is wrong with people? Chicago, Illinois. Hey! What is poppin'? How are you? Boss man Blake up in the building. Hey, boss man Blake, how are you, Papa? I was just talking about that movie, Black Girls Gone Missing. I seen it and it took my breath away. It took my heart away because it's just straight facts. Like when a person of color go missing, you can't even get them on the news. You can't get no help from the police. And me watching that movie, when the oh, who is this? This is YJ. Hey YJ. when the guy said the little white girl is the one missing because of the views, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. You mean to tell me that it's all because of ratings? What the hell? I love watching documentaries, right? And I'm noticing a lot of girls from Chicago is going missing, right? That's very crazy. That is insane. Check out this documentary. Let's share the screen. Missing disappearance of Sheena Gibson. I did the story. I remember this. A little bit, I remember it, but I did the story. Go on my
Illinois when she went missing. When Sheena first went missing, we had very little information about her disappearance. But since then, we have learned some disturbing new details about what was happening in Sheena's life before she disappeared. But those closest to Sheena say that despite those details, the Chicago Police Department has done very little to find Sheena.
See?
Almost 2 years after she was last seen, her family and friends are still trying to find out what happened to Sheena. This is Sheena's story. I first brought you Sheena's story in May 2022 after finding out about it on Instagram. At the time, it had been 6 months since she had disappeared. Since then, her family and friends have continued to search for answers about what happened to Sheena. But from the beginning, they have said that the Chicago Police Department has not prioritized her case. According to them, the police have failed to follow up on leads that they say are critical to the case. And as we approach the 2-year anniversary of Sheena's disappearance, not much has changed. When we
That
first told
girl
Sheena's
gone.
story,
Please go
there was
check
very
her
little
out.
information
Podcast.
about her disappearance. But recently, I got to speak to a friend of Sheena's who wanted to update me about the case and what has been discovered in the almost 2 years since she was last seen. Her case was also featured on a recent episode of Investigation Discovery Channel's Disappeared. For those who would like to watch it, it's the episode from season 11. It's episode 5. The things that we know about Sheena's life prior to her disappearance and the events surrounding her disappearance raise a ton of questions about people in her life and why the police don't seem to think that this case is important. There are still many unknowns about Sheena's disappearance, but it's most important for the world to know that Sheena is still missing. And so this week, I'm bringing you Sheena's story again with the updated information that we have. Sheena Gibbs is originally from Iowa. She grew up near Davenport in a small town called Muscatine, where she was raised by her mother, with whom she always had a very close relationship with. Eventually, Sheena left Iowa and moved to Chicago, Illinois. Sheena attended Truman College in Chicago before heading to Northwestern University of Illinois, and then Spoon River College. According to her bio, Sheena was the vice president of Student Senate at Spoon River, and she graduated from there with honors. Those who knew Sheena best describe her as someone who is driven and enjoys helping others, strong-willed and creative. She has the ability to connect with people no matter who they are or where they came from. When Sheena was 25, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer, which she beat, but her experience transformed her into an advocate for other cancer survivors in the same situation as herself. During her 2 decades in Chicago, Sheena volunteered for various organizations and found her passion in social activism. Her volunteer work included being an HIV/AIDS educator and an ESL tutor, and she also raised money to bring clean drinking water to drought-prone areas like Africa. Over the years, she worked as a home health aide and a dance instructor, and in her most recent position, she was responsible for scheduling COVID tests for the University of Illinois, Chicago. It was important to Sheena also to remain in close contact with her family, especially her mother. So, at the beginning of November, when days had passed without a call from Sheena, her family knew that there was something wrong. According to her aunt, in September 2021, Sheena traveled back home to Iowa to check on her mom, who had been sick for a while. During Sheena's visit home to Iowa, her aunt Leela told the Black News Channel that Sheena had stayed with her for the entire week that she was there. Sheena was worried about her mom's health and was considering moving back to Iowa so that she could be closer to her. Sheena wasn't exactly thrilled about moving back to the small town where she grew up, according to Leela, but she loved her mother, and if she needed to move back, then she would have done that for her. Leela said Sheena returned to Chicago to figure things out and make a decision about moving back, but it was the last time that Leela saw her niece. Now, according to the episode of Disappeared, Sheena did go back to Iowa in October of 2021 and then returned to Chicago shortly before her disappearance. When I first covered Sheena's story, information about her personal life wasn't public, but after speaking to her friend and watching the Disappeared episode, I have learned that in the years prior to her disappearance, Sheena had been in a series of allegedly abusive relationships. Sheena had gone from the life of the party, always keeping in contact with her friends, to someone who was distant. She stopped calling and answering her phone, and months would go by without them hearing from her. Sheena's friends said that after her battle with cancer, a lot of things started to change in her life. And one of those things was the kind of men that she started dating. They weren't the kind of men that people were used to seeing her with. Sheena's friend told me that she was someone who would try to help people, save them if she could. And so they suspect that perhaps Sheena's desire to save these men from their troubled lives may have driven her to them. But these relationships, according to her friends, had changed Sheena, and she wasn't the same person that they had known. In 2021, Sheena had been dating a man whose name has not been publicly released, but by June of that year, Sheena was living with him in an apartment in Chicago. There's not much information about that relationship, and I'm not sure how or when the couple met.
Do you guys remember that case, Sheena Gibson? I put her link also down, and I put the link to my podcast. I did a story on her on my podcast of Sheena Gibson, and I also did her story on my playlist here on my YouTube thing. Go check out the playlist. But Sheena Gibson, yeah, I remember that story. I can't remember all of it. That's why I'm listening to what she said, but I remember it barely a little bit. If you guys remember that story, I'm not sure. There's so many cases that we talk about on here. You know what I mean? And it's a shame because she said the mother, the family could not get help from the police. It could not get help from the police.
One of Sheena's friends that spoke to Disappeared said that when she would speak to Sheena on the phone, she never mentioned any issues with this boyfriend. But an incident reported by another friend leaves a different impression of that relationship. In June 2021, one of Sheena's friends said that she came to her house after her and her boyfriend had gotten into some kind of fight. It's not clear what the fight was about, but Sheena was upset and needed a place to calm down. Her friend said that she stayed for a while and talked and then went back to their apartment that she shared with her boyfriend. A few weeks later, her friend said that she texted Sheena to check in and see if everything was okay. Sheena texted her back telling her that everything was okay and that she was grateful for her help. Although there are still many things that we don't know about the circumstances surrounding Sheena's disappearance, what we do know is that the last time anyone heard from Sheena was November the 8th, and the last time she was seen was November the 5th. Through their own investigation, a friend of Sheena's discovered that she had become friends with an Uber driver. He was someone that she had met and would call for rides to various places. They had even gone out to eat a few times. The Uber driver said that the last time they saw Sheena was when they dropped her off at the Greenleaf Hostel. This hostel is located at Greenleaf Avenue and Sheridan in the Rogers Park neighborhood of Chicago. He told Sheena's friend that when he dropped her off, she told him that she was planning to go back to Iowa the next day. But we know that Sheena did not go back to Iowa the next day. Sheena's friend told me that before dropping Sheena off at the hostel, he told that friend of Sheena's that he had first taken her to the Edgebrook Motel, located near the end of the city. It's not clear what happened at that motel, but according to him, he then took Sheena to the hostel. According to information provided in the Disappeared episode, she was at the Greenleaf Hostel from November 1st to the 5th. Sheena's cousin, in an interview with a local news station, said that he spoke to her via text on November 3rd. And in that message, Sheena told him that she was planning to return to Iowa on the 4th, which would have been the following day. However, Sheena checked out of the hostel using her credit card on the 5th. Accounts from at least two people say that Sheena told them that she was going back to Iowa. The dates were different, but it does leave questions about what exactly was going on at the time. Sheena's aunt said that she usually traveled by bus when she came to Iowa, but there was no record of Sheena ever purchasing a bus ticket. In the days that followed, however, Sheena's family had not heard from her. Now, the exact location of Sheena's movements after leaving the hostel are unknown. However, on November 8th, Sheena sent a text message to a friend, and in this message, she said that she was making plans to return home to Iowa to help her sick mother. And that was the last time that Sheena was heard from, and she never arrived in Iowa. When her family didn't hear from her, they tried calling her phone, but their calls were going straight to voicemail, and they were starting to worry because that wasn't Sheena's typical behavior. Now, although she had been missing in action with her friends in recent years, I got the impression that because of her mom's health issues, Sheena always kept in contact with her family. And her cousin Chris said that she was in regular contact with them. And so Sheena's family waited a few more days, hoping that they would hear from her. But when days had gone by and there was still no word from Sheena, her family knew that something was wrong.
And I'm going to stop it
Sheena's
there for a
family
minute.
reported
I'm
her
going to show
missing
you guys something.
and began.
Stopping it there for a minute. Give me a second.
This is Local 4 News at 5.
Local 4 News continues to bring you stories of missing people in our special reports, Vanished QC The Missing. Cook County Crime Stoppers has a $1,000 reward for information that helps find a missing woman from Chicago with ties to the Quad Cities. She's 40-year-old Sheena Gibbs. Gibbs disappeared on November 3rd last year. It was the last day her friends and family spoke with her. She was supposed to drive to Davenport to take care of her mother, but she never made it. Crime reporter Linda Cook spoke with one of her relatives about this case.
Let me just say something. He just said Cook County is going to give an award, right? For $1,000 for who? That's the reward. $1,000? Now, I'm just saying, like, if it was if it wasn't another, if it was, let me just keep it 100. If it was a white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, they would be given thousands of dollar rewards. Thousands of dollars. So you basically saying that she's barely not worth nothing. That's how I'm getting it. And they probably didn't even want to put that $1,000 out. Let's keep it 100 now. Come on. We grown folks. Hey, Keith. Tens of thousands. Do you feel what I'm saying, right? Now, $1,000 to me is good money right now because, shit is going hard for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, no, that's different. But she's missing, okay? Right. A laptop costs more than that. Shit. She's missing. They probably didn't even want to put that out. Let's continue. I'm just had to blow away. I'm just shocked. $1,000. Get the hell out of here.
He joins us now. And Linda, what do we know about Gibbs' disappearance?
Well, her mother lives in Davenport. And in fact, Gibbs was here. She was here in Davenport in September visiting relatives. We don't know necessarily that she was going to come and take care of her mother. That is one of those things that's gone around, a little bit of rumor, a little bit of conjecture. But we do know she was here in September in the Quad Cities and that she went back to the Chicago area and kept in touch with relatives all the time.
What about her description or information about her background?
Well, she is 5'9". She weighs about 180 pounds and has shoulder-length black hair. She is very, very well educated. She's a graduate of Northwestern University, and she is a cancer survivor, and she's a social justice activist too. She also worked at the University of Illinois, Chicago, where she used to schedule COVID-19 tests. The other thing people should remember is this, it's important. Her case is classified as high risk.
So they're really worried about her, certainly her well-being.
Yes.
What's been done to try to find her?
Well, in an Instagram message, her family has pleaded for help. And let me please read this quote. Our family desperately needs your help. Hopefully, the private investigator who is working the case can uncover some information that the Chicago Police Department has not. We're counting on you to help us get there by your continued contributions. We love Sheena and want her found. I communicated with her aunt just a couple of hours ago, and they are still in touch with police and law enforcement about
What else has she told you?
She has told me that her aunt, that's who I've spoken with,
Sure.
has lost a child, and she said she does not want Sheena's mother to experience that. The problem is, of course, she says she doesn't know what happened to her child. This family is using every resource they have and trying to find more to keep the awareness of Sheena's case out there and get people involved in the search.
A lot of mystery surrounding this one.
Absolutely.
What should people at home watching do if they have any information that might help find her?
Well, there are two different numbers to call. First, the Chicago Police Department, and that number is 312-744-8266. And then the Black and Missing Foundation has a lot of information about this case on their websites and social media. That number is 877-97-BAMFI.
Let's hope somebody knows something. Linda Cook, as always, thank you for these reports. And we shall have all the information about this and the other Vantage QC cases we covered so far on our website, ourquadcities.com. We certainly hope you go there, read more about these different stories, share them to your social media accounts. Just simply getting them out there could bring these families answers they've been waiting years for in some cases.
This is Local 4.
Shame. Don't need no Dell commercials.
Woody Overton, your host of Scorched Justice, the podcast covering the murders of Jessica Lynn Chambers and Ming Sheen Show.
I'm your host, Amara, and this.
I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't looking for that. That's the same podcast. Give me a second, y'all. Please. I was looking for this.
I told him that my daughter was missing. And he was like, she probably is not missing. She just probably just don't want to be bothered. I was like, no, you don't understand. This is not her. I talk to this girl every day, all day. I literally had to pull my phone out and show him how many times a day this girl texts me or how many
This is
times a day she calls me. And I was frustrated. I was like, why do I have to plead my case? My daughter's missing.
Keisha's mother says she was abducted.
My children are my life. It's appalling the way they just put us on the back burner. They waited 2 years before they even said it was foul play suspected in her case. When you knew from the beginning, it's like it's a lot of disbelief when it comes to us, but they put a lot of urgency on women of the other color.
Typically, when a young woman or girl of color is reported missing, that case isn't taken seriously by law enforcement.
And trust me, there's no prejudice over here because I got half white in me. But I just wanted to show y'all a few different videos.
The media has a fascination with young white women and girls that go missing, and they're typically blonde, blue-eyed, described as very attractive. Our young girls and women are not seen as victims. You know, they're oftentimes adultified. They're fast and they're getting what they deserve. That is so untrue.
Very high risk of sex trafficking.
Our young girls and even boys are victims of sex trafficking.
Yes.
That is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yes, it
They
is.
target Black women and girls because, one, no one is going to look for them. And if they were caught, the penalty will not be as harsh as trafficking anyone else.
And that's sad.
We applaud Representative Ruth Richardson for introducing legislation in Minnesota to protect missing Black girls. It's an office that is needed and it needs to be replicated across the country. There are some states that have looked at this legislation as a blueprint to protect those that are most vulnerable in their communities. The Ebony Alert will enhance the public communication alert system where media platforms and social media platforms must work with law enforcement to help to amplify these cases of vulnerable missing Black women and girls between the ages of 12 to 25. The challenge with the Ebony Alert is to get law enforcement to activate it. They have to use the system that is in place. So you can put a system in place, but if it's not being utilized as intended, then there's no value to it. You know, it takes all of us. It takes the media. It takes law enforcement to come together to help us find us. I ask you to learn about cases like Alexis Weir, Tiffany Foster, Ariana Fitz, Keisha Jacobs, and the list goes on and on and on and on of Black women who are missing, but you haven't heard about them because they have not garnered that national headline. But we cannot sit back and say this is someone else's problem.
I want her to come home. But if she's gone, I want closure. But if she was to ever to come home, I mean, it'll be amazing. You see how I'm lighting up.
Year-old California native Felicia Marie Johnson went to Houston, Texas, and disappeared on April 15th, 2022. She is 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighs 150 pounds, has long black hair and brown eyes. She has a large butterfly tattoo with 2 roses on her right shoulder. Her family has been looking for her ever since. Her father, Kevin Johnson, joins us from Houston. Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry you are going through this. What can you tell us about the night your daughter went missing and how the search is going?
Well, the night that she went missing, she was sharing location with some family members, and they noticed that her phone hadn't moved in some time, and they was able to locate the phone the next day. And we tried to take the phone to the police, and they refused to take the phone into evidence.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, guys.
She was celebrating her birthday week on Sunday in San Diego with the family. We had just celebrated a birthday dinner with her, and later on in the week, she had came out here to Houston to further celebrate with some family members. And I guess she wanted to make some money while she was here, and that's how she ended up at that nightclub. And that's the last time she was seen. And that was Saturday morning, which would be the 16th, I believe, or the 15th.
Okay. And you said that the Houston police were not necessarily willing to take into account her phone that was found. From what I read, I don't know if it was them or the FBI, but they conducted a search around the area where her phone is found. Are you satisfied with the level of involvement from the Houston Police Department or with the FBI?
Well, actually, the family member of ours is the one that found the phone through sharing location. And we took the phone to the police station, and they refused the phone.
Right.
And a week later, after I had acquired some help from Quanell X, that's when they took the evidence. Five days after us attempting to give it to them on the day of her disappearance. And as far as the search efforts, there are a lot of people that's volunteering their time, and Texas EquiSearch is helping, and Crime Stoppers is helping. But as far as the law enforcement, I have just all questions and no answers. And
Yes.
we're 3 weeks in.
I
They won't
noticed.
even confirm or deny her identity at this point. I have been able to confirm or deny her identity on surveillance footage. Right. I gave my DNA to them to confirm the blood that was on the phone, if it was hers. I still don't even know if the results from that.
Right.
So,
I noticed that the Houston.
They didn't even want to take her phone in the first place because they had no interest in helping the father. They had no interest. They didn't care. She's missing. What's her color? Her skin. We have another family, and the sad thing and the crazy thing is, they had the guy in custody. The Felicia case. Remember, they had him in custody, and they wound up letting him out. Now he's probably in Africa or wherever the hell he's at. Who knows? But why the lack of concern? The messiness. Why? Why the lack of concern?
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
I like this guy.
In the first 10 days of this month, 10 young Black and Latinos, most of them female, were reported missing in
I like
Washington,
him.
D.C. Their names
Hey,
are
Katie.
Taylor Ennis, Jacqueline Lassie, Yeshaya Enoch, Antoine Jordan, Juliana Elizabeth Otero,
I know, Katie.
Deshaun Trakia Wallace,
It's
Ania
sad.
McNeil, Dayana White, Talisha Coles, and Morgan Richardson. Fortunately, Metropolitan D.C. Police Department now says Taylor Ennis and Antoine Jordan have been located and are safe. But the other 8 young people and so many more, both here and around the country, remain missing.
I was looking
Here's a
for
broader
something
look
else.
at these numbers. According to the FBI, of those reported missing in 2014, the last year for which stats have been compiled, 60% were white, 37% were minority, 3% the race was unknown. Now, broken down by gender, males accounted for just over 315,000 reported missing persons, while females accounted for just over 320,000 people. Joining us via phone, Derica Wilson, CEO and founder of the Black and Missing Foundation. Derica, first of all, any information specifically about these missing young folks here in D.C.?
Well, I know that the police and our organization, we are actively looking for these missing kids. No particular information. However, we know right here in the metropolitan area that human trafficking is on the rise. A lot of people think this is happening abroad, but this is happening right here in our own backyard. And I think the numbers are staggering and alarming, to say the least.
Falling off the bed.
And when we talk about this is human trafficking, I mean, people have to understand as a part of this game, literally, you have 12, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls who are being used.
Absolutely. And the predators are being so sophisticated nowadays. They're utilizing social media to recruit these youth. And, you know, we as parents need to monitor what our children are doing.
That's right.
And we always encourage families to create fictitious accounts to actually see what information their children are giving out, because in so many of our cases with these missing teens around that age range, they are turning to the social media platform and putting so much information out there, and they find themselves in danger.
So when you say so much information, are you saying that with various apps which can actually show where you are at that given time with the location on it as well, that literally predators out there can track folks and be able to snatch them up?
I'm saying as simple as telling them the problems that they have at home, as far as like with teenagers, they don't want to listen to their parents, telling them where they live, telling them what school they attend. And these people are hiding behind the screen. So they're going to tell these children exactly what they want to hear.
Right.
And so they're turning to these people as a comfort. And by the time they get with them, they feel like.
I hope my daughter is in here. If she's not, I did tag her. So I hope she's in here with the chat. I don't think so, because there's only like 2 of us or whatever. But I really need her to listen to this, because this is some serious shish. Okay? And this is something that I try to tell my child all the time. These Negroes on the internet will lure your pretty behind, and then I would be the one out here searching for you. Because it's all about the internet. It's all about control. What school you go to? Oh, what's going on at home? Like she said, all that is true. Even for me, let me tell you something. I know I talk a lot. Like I tell my shit a lot. Because my man be like, babe, you just be telling your business to the whole world. Like you just talk to them. You just, you know, you just, why are you telling your stuff to you? I'm learning now also to watch what I say. And I'm an adult. It could happen to me too. It can happen to me too. I don't think there's an age preference from what these Negroes or on the internet want these days. I used to think there was an age preference, but baby, I don't think so no more. So we really have to be careful because they know, they look for vulnerability. Who's vulnerable? What's going on at home? Oh, your parents is not listening to you. They're not paying attention to you. Well, meet me somewhere. And you think they this young, cute, little, handsome, little white or Puerto Rican or black boy. They showing you fake pictures. They some old grumpy man. Like, it's crazy. And then when they go missing, we go to the police, allegedly, and we ask for help, and we don't get it. Why we don't get it?
They're so comfortable, like they're the only person that knows and understands them, not realizing the intentions of these predators.
When we look at these cases here, what often, again, it's just no surprise to you that national media pretty much hasn't done anything on these missing young folks.
It's definitely not a surprise. That's why my sister-in-law and I created the organization to bring awareness to these cases. And to say that media doesn't work is an understatement. I mean, if I may share, just yesterday, we had a missing autistic girl out of Baltimore, and we got the media coverage. We got the FBI, and working with Baltimore police and Prince George's County police, we were able to find this young girl who the police actually stated that they believe that it was a human trafficking situation in Laurel, Maryland. But if we didn't utilize this media platform and the cooperation of our community being vigilant and law enforcement, we would have still been looking for this young girl who had been missing since last Wednesday with autism.
And the thing that is amazing to me is that what we are seeing, that by not reporting this, pretty much, if you're out there in the human trafficking business, you just have a clear runway because you're confident nobody's going to say a word.
Absolutely, but that's where our community comes in. We can't wait on the 5 and 10 o'clock news cycle. There's just so many platforms out there, and we appreciate you even shining the spotlight. We've worked with you on numerous occasions regarding this, putting this stuff on social media, getting these profiles out there. Somebody out there knows something, so we encourage you to say something if you see something, because time is of the essence.
Derica, first of all, regarding these missing young folks, also, what do you want the audience to do right now when it comes to these young girls? Do you have groups out there who are hitting the streets? Are they passing out flyers? What do you know about these missing young folks?
Well, we know the police department, they are actively seeking them. So they're putting out the information. The family involvement is important. The community involvement is important. Passing out flyers, that's something that our organization do as well. Just flooding the social media network because it has a larger reach to get into the faces of so many. Just because they're missing out of D.C. doesn't mean they're not in New York or in Boston. I can get on the Acela train right now and be in New York in 2.5 hours. So we need people to think outside of the box. Just because they're missing from one area doesn't necessarily mean that they're not in another area. So we need people to report. We need them to look into the eyes of every person that they come across. Just like with Relisha Rudd, in my gut, I still feel that this little girl was sold. And so someone may have even altered her appearance by cutting her hair and dressing her like a boy.
Wow.
The point that I'm making is we need people to look into the faces. We need to continue to put these profiles out there so people will know that they're missing and report it so we can bring them home, because this is an overwhelming nightmare for the families that don't know where their loved ones are.
Hey, Yaz, my daughter is now here. What's up, mamita? So you heard what she said. These predators will even cut their hair, right? So yes, we here talking about, right, missing Black girls that go missing and they don't get enough coverage from the media, the police, or anything because we're not white girls with pretty blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever the case is, right? But when the missing Black girls go missing, they usually get lured by the man on social media, right? By these Negroes, right, on social media, right, that lure these young pretty girls in. You know, once y'all get vulnerable and start telling your address, what school you go to, where you live, or, you know, all these other things, uh, you start to get comfortable. And the attacker, in his mind, he's like, yeah, got her. You know, and all these young girls that go missing is mostly lured from the internet. With men who they think love them, they think care about them, they think it's special, but they really want to sell their behinds, get that money, or even unalive them so their parents would never see them again. They would disguise you and change your hair, cut your hair, put you in different clothes.
Well said. We surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old Black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. Your hands are in the air, and you still get.
I wish for the amazing new iPhone 15 Pro. Sean.
Do you mean this one, the one with titanium? Switch to Verizon. You can trade in any iPhone and get the new iPhone 15 Pro on them.
It's your last chance to trade in any iPhone for a new iPhone 15 Pro on us, only on Verizon.
It's very hard living day to day, not knowing where your child is.
Paula Hill hopes that someone who sees these photos will help bring her missing daughter home and help mend her broken heart.
She's 8 on here. I wrote her on the back.
10 long years have passed since the young Black girl in these precious memories disappeared without a trace. Her name is Shamika Cozy. She vanished just a few days after Christmas that year.
On December the 28th, 2008, that was the last day that I seen her.
You've come back to this neighborhood a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
Her daughter was here, just outside St. Louis, watching movies with her cousins when everyone woke up the next morning and discovered she was gone.
I don't
She was
remember this
16 years
case.
old. A door was unlocked, and police believe she ran away, so they never searched for the girl.
What? They not doing anything because they think she gone on her own. I don't know what to do. I didn't know who to turn to.
Shamika Cozy's story was different in the sense that she
Shamika
vanished without a
Cozy.
trace. Is being held.
Chandrea Thomas is a local news anchor and reporter
I
who
don't
produces a
remember that.
podcast documenting forgotten cases of missing Black Americans. This was one of her first.
Her belongings, her overnight bag was still left on the counters in the house, and she was never seen again.
She says police and the press often dismiss Black cases as runaways.
It has been difficult to get some of these stories told when it comes to missing people of color, cold cases involving people of color. And I felt like if I can do my part, as far as having this podcast, I can tell any story I want about whoever I want, however I want, for however long I want to.
At the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Director Robert Lowry told us that roughly 800,000 Americans go missing each year.
What percentage of those are African American or of color?
About 60% of the reports that we see here in the U.S. that go in those databases.
More than half.
Well over half. It really breaks a lot of commonly held thought on who are really the missing children in the U.S.
The numbers show that
Years
missing
ago?
Black Americans are disproportionately represented. In 2018, more than 30% of all missing persons were Black Americans, despite making up just 13% of the total U.S. population. But only around a fifth of those cases are followed by the news. Frustrated with little help and even less attention, Paula Hill and her family went searching on their own.
This idea that she ran away,
You don't believe that?
No. No. Do I believe she left her home with someone? Yes. But she was intending to come back. She was not intending to stay gone for 10 years.
We are in front of the Berkeley Police Station. This is the police department that was investigating this case. We ended up sitting down with Major Art Jackson, who is, of course, African American, and defends the way police are handling the case. How come the police never did a search on this?
There was no evidence to support a physical search. This is one of the hardest things to
What?
investigate as a missing person, especially if a person is missing with, like I said, with no signs of anything, just voluntarily walks away. Now, if a person is missing, they've been kidnapped or anything like that, you're going to have signs of struggle. You're going to have things to go by to help you put that pieces of the puzzle together. So in reality, sometimes
So she went
law
missing in
enforcement and sometimes
2008.
media, we like, hey, that person did it voluntarily. So that's on them.
It is quite
What?
a mystery, and there are dozens
Hold
of missing
up.
persons
Wait a minute.
cases that I
Okay,
followed
stop
over
the
the
shit
last
right
few
now.
years
Hold
with
up.
the effort.
His attitude just got me tripping. Oh, so that's on them. No. That's not on them. Maybe they chose to go out that night or that day with someone thinking they were going to make it back home. So it's on them when they become unalive. His nasty ass attitude really got me not in a good place. Like, I don't like that. That was not cool. Right? You see what I'm saying? Right, Katie, you felt it too? Like, oh, that's on them. Negro, please. Negro, wake up. Look at your color too. You didn't join the wrong forces, motherfucker. Now let it be one of their kids. Would he be sitting there saying, well, that's on her? She chose to go out in the middle of the night. That's on her. If she ass don't make it 10 years back home. No, I don't think so. I interviewed a detective here, Sharice Harris. I don't know if he's a detective or he's a sheriff. I think he's a sheriff. Go in my playlist and look at the interview that I did with Sharice Harris' father. Sharice Harris has been missing 5 years now, and he is in the police force, okay? And his daughter's missing. And they expected him at first to sit on his hands like nothing because he's in the police force. You know what I'm saying? No. He is the one that told us on this platform, do not wait 24 hours. That is bull crap. You do not listen to them. When they say come back 24 hours, you have to know, because we all know that 24 hours is the most crucial. When you have a cop that was on my platform that I interviewed who was telling us that is bullshit, then you know that is bullshit. But what's going to be done about it? If they're not listening to us, but they did listen to homegirl that said she saw a little baby in the middle of the street with the clown and some Cheetos or whatever the hell she said. What was her name again? What was that girl's name? And it was fake. She lied. But that went viral. What made them listen to that and for that to go viral? So then I have to think back and say, wait a minute, Jasmine, stop for a second. Because you're telling your platform that only, and I got to keep it real with you guys. I must keep it real. Because sometimes I can say stuff, right? And then I got to talk to myself and say, wait a minute, you got to go back and look at what you're saying. Because I'm sitting here telling y'all the police, right, is only going to help the white people with the blonde hair and blue eyes. But wait, homegirl that faked her kidnapping, she was black. and they helped her big time. They had the FBI, they had the feds, they had the cops, the helicopters, they had everything. She wasn't white with blue eyes. So let me backtrack of what I'm saying, and let me just rephrase it just a little bit. Her family had money. Ooh! Now, was that the case? If we're black with money, would you help us? Someone please tell me that girl that her faked her kidnapping. Come on now. I know we know it. I don't want to say her wrong name. What was the girl that she had the Cheetos and it was a big block, and you know, she saw the little baby in the middle of the street and all this other shit. Let me go look for it. Carly Russell. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Carly Russell. Right. Now, she was a black girl, very educated, very smart. She worked. Her family had money. Because we can go into the businesses and shit like that, but job another day. But her family had money, and they went buck wild crazy for her. She wasn't the white girl with the blue eyes. So then I have to backtrack and say, but wait, Brooklyn Squad, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Is it because her family had money and she was the black girl? God forbid if I go missing, are they going to help Dave search for him? Search for me? We ain't got money like Carly Russell family. Is it going to be all over helicopters? They going to be boots on the ground searching? Or are they going to ask him, what is your income? I'm starting to think that it's really not about just because you're white. I can't say that no more. I can't. I'm thinking about the money now. Katie, God forbid, let's say it happens to you. Do you think that they will help your husband find you? Would they go buck wild with helicopters? Katie's white girl, whatever, pretty blue eyes. But I don't know if you and your husband got the money like Carly Russell or Donald Trump or whatever. You doubt it, right? Exactly. Exactly. Me too. I didn't want to say it, girl, but I was like, because of our finance situation, you think? Because that's what I'm thinking. Because I really got to backtrack, and I'm looking at all the people, right, that was asking for Kiara Cole's mother, Jelani Day's mother. Now, I'm not saying that they broke. They didn't have money or nothing like that. But they wasn't up on the high chain like Carly Day's family. I don't know. It's just something. If someone know and could come up here and just tell me what it is, I would love to know. If not, I'm going to keep doing my research, and I'm going to have someone on here, maybe a detective or somebody, to help break this down. You think it would definitely make sense for sure? Because there's something else in there besides the color now. Back in the days, it was the color. Way back, probably before we were born, right? When we were little and shit. But it's something else, Katie. And I'm going to look into it, but let's continue. Y'all know I keep it real up here, right? Y'all know that. If you don't know, you gonna know. Okay, because my daughter's up here. One thing she gonna tell you, my mother ain't no fake chick. My mother will keep it 100. So if I say something, right, and I'm not feeling comfortable with it, and I feel like maybe I made a mistake or I need to do some more research, I'm gonna come up here while I'm live and I'm gonna tell you. And I say allegedly. Let's get into it. The name, if they're known, and money. The businesses that they run as well. Right.
On the ground and on the airwaves was massive and hopeful. But all of these cases have one significant thing in common. The victims were white Americans. I was one of the reporters covering 17-year-old Caitlin Fresina in 2017, who went missing in Florida. At the same time, 14-year-old Yania Javon Carter disappeared near Atlanta. Carter didn't get half the media attention, but luckily she was found alive. Natalie and Derica Wilson run a foundation that helps search for missing Black and Hispanic children.
There are so many families of color who are desperately searching for their missing loved one. And they are just asking for just 1 second or a couple of seconds of media coverage. And it can change the narrative for them.
We also understand that the decision makers don't look like us. And so these cases are not sensitive enough where they want to air it.
We got more than an earful from this group of parents and loved ones of missing Black children in Washington, D.C. They told us they'd take a fraction of the compassion and attention that went to the families of Natalie Holloway, Elizabeth Smart, Lacey Peterson, and so many others.
When you see me as an African American in this country out covering these cases over and over again of missing white children, it's depressing to you.
Yes, I know how many missing people of color that are missing. I would say, well, do he do his homework to talk about us?
Yeah, it pissed me off to see you reporting somebody's child other than mine. Me and this person's child can go missing around the same time. But I had to fight to get mine on local news, and this person's on national news with the FBI overnight.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm tired and I'm frustrated and I'm pissed.
They want America to take a greater interest in these names. Unique Harris, Christian Muse,
I never heard of that.
Relisha Rudd.
I wish for the amazing new iPhone 15 Pro.
Sean, do you mean this one, the one with titanium? Switch to Verizon.
There's nothing I can do about these commercials, guys, because we live.
Them.
It's your last chance to trade in any
And
iPhone
this is
for
how
a
they
new
make their
iPhone
money.
15 Pro on us, only on Verizon.
Keisha Jacobs, and Terrence Woods Jr., who went missing last October.
Tell me if you each can tell me about your loved ones.
Well, my daughter Unique, I definitely miss her jovial attitude. She always could just walk in a room and brighten up the room, and she kept me laughing even when I didn't want to laugh.
Keisha, she was 21 when she went missing, but she was still my baby. She's the one that we used to have movie nights, and she'd lay up in the bed with me and we'll watch movies and eat popcorn.
As a child, 8-year-old, normal child, her laughter, her playfulness, she was very beautiful.
I'll have dreams about Christian, and in these dreams, I will be boo-hooing crying, in my dream. But then I'll wake up with that same feeling of sorrow, and no physical tears are coming out.
My son, Terrence, he was my best friend. And this just recently happened. So, every Christmas, he would put up the Christmas tree. So this Christmas, it was like really different, and he was with 11 other people, but he's the only one that went missing without a physical trace. Like she was just saying, it just hit me like a gut shot. On Tuesday nights, he would sit in my room and we watch TV together and watch a movie together. I don't even like walking down the hall going towards his room. The sheriff department or nobody is really helping out.
Terrence Woods Jr. went missing last fall in the forests of Ora Grande, Idaho, where he was shooting a documentary. Within a week, police ended the search, saying no leads were obtained and no signs of Mr. Woods had been located in the search area. They also say they're continuing to monitor the situation. His father says they've told him nothing since.
I think a lot of people get the misunderstanding that we immediately get help from the police department. That's not the case.
But there's a small ray of hope shining on the horizon. At the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they're bringing in representatives from local law enforcement and the news departments in the DC area to point these differences out.
We've initiated a minority children initiative here to examine that very question. Those large-scale searches, in our experience, have been predominantly for Caucasian children, and reasons that we don't always understand.
As for the families, their voices filled with anger and frustration, they say they'll never stop looking.
So a number of you have been dealing with this for years. What advice do you give to this father who's 4 months in?
I'm gonna tell you straight up, don't give up. Like you said, don't accept nothing nobody say. Can't nobody tell you no, and you keep fighting until you can't fight no more.
I remember that's your child, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to fight for your child like you do.
Do you expect to get answers?
Oh, yeah.
Everything in my heart is telling me that Keisha is alive, but I believe she is coming home to me.
Terrence?
My son is coming home.
Paula Hill shares this determined optimism. She and her other 2 children have submitted DNA samples to a national registry, praying for a match.
And this is her big sister.
And when she's down, she looks through these memories of the daughter she's missing and finds her joy.
I still have hope that one day I'm going to find my child.
For Nightline, I'm Steve Osunsami
That's
in
sad.
Washington.
I feel like the president with this teleprompter. Hey, team. No. Hi, team. I'm a...
We saw her on camera. The last image of her is on camera with a bag of food, and her eyes look so sad. I kept asking.
Oh shit, what happened? Hey Kathy, Katie, everybody in the building. I'm just showing y'all different videos. That's all. Missing people.
For 2 weeks, we said she did not run away. And for 2 weeks, they kept saying she ran away. On January 12th, 2018, my 16-year-old niece, Jolie Musa, went missing. She came home with her sister and then was getting some random text messages from somebody, we don't know who. And at that moment in time, she was like, I'll be right back. I gotta go, I'll be right back. Unfortunately for us, she never came back. When we're telling
Beautiful
the
girl.
police that there's definitely something wrong, she would never be gone like this and completely stop communication. What we then heard was, right now it looks like she left of her own free will. She's a runaway. With the use of that word, there was no further action being done on her case. For 2 weeks, we said she did not run away. And for 2 weeks, they kept saying she ran away. She had been discarded in the woods like yesterday's trash. If they had not said she was a runaway, if law enforcement had started looking for her more urgently at the time we reported her as missing, could they have found her alive?
Jolie was murdered by an ex-boyfriend who had previously assaulted her. Nabiyu Ibrahim strangled Jolie and hid her body in a park. In a statement, the Fairfax County Police Department said Jolie was initially reported missing on January 13th, and our officers immediately began investigating. Ibrahim was promptly identified as a person of interest in her disappearance. Every piece of technology and resource available to our department was deployed to solve this case.
Why would the police look at a young black girl and think she's more likely to be a runaway than a young white girl?
There's just a certain level of prejudice, that still kind of hangs in our culture in the United States.
Across America, the statistics on missing children show a shocking racial disparity. Only 14% of children in the US are black, but 37% of missing people under 18 are African American. Of all the kids that go missing, over 90% are runaways, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Wow.
Most of these issues with young people who run away, they're usually running from a
Please check out my
condition or running
podcast,
to a
everyone.
condition, meaning someone's luring them out.
Relisha.
This is 8-year-old Relisha Rudd.
That's good. I can hear him laughing.
She was interviewed by a homeless charity in February 2014.
Shelter give us some place to stay.
She's talking about the shelter where she lived in Washington, D.C.
Say it louder. The shelter give us some place to stay.
4 weeks later, she went missing.
You on the screen.
This is Relisha and the shelter's caretaker, Khalil Tatum, walking into a motel room. Relisha hasn't been seen since.
I remember that case. I talked about that too.
Please keep an eye out for Relisha.
I kept asking myself, why her? Why couldn't it have been somebody else? Why couldn't it be me instead of her?
Relisha didn't like staying in the shelter, did she?
Relisha called it the trap house.
What did she mean by that?
When they say the trap house, because either drugs is being sold around or
Why would she know about the trap house at a young age like that?
Rats,
That's weird.
stink, lice, filth, nasty.
And I get it because I
There's
used
just
to
so
live in a
much going
shelter,
on in
and this
terms
one
of
was in the city.
quality
And there's
of
no
care,
place anyone would
resources,
want to
food.
be.
The food there was horrible. I heard Relisha Rudd didn't want to eat there sometimes. She would want to go with somebody else just to really get something good to eat.
Over at DC General, you're seeing a lot of things that a child should not see. They was exposed to a lot of things.
There's
Khalil
someone
Tatum
on
killed himself
TikTok
a
that's still
month
doing
after
her
this footage
case.
was shot, and the police still don't know what happened to Relisha. Her family cling to the hope that someone will come forward with information about their little girl. And her community worries about the many vulnerable children like Relisha.
Sadly, a number of children that are part of the lower economic standings in our community, they aren't taken as seriously. What we're noticing is there are a number of homeless children and children
following
in
her on
foster care
TikTok.
that are being victims of sex trafficking. And sex trafficking of our children is taking place around the country, like Atlanta, Chicago, Baltimore.
And overwhelmingly African American victims.
Absolutely. There's a disproportionate number of African American girls and boys who are victims of sex trafficking.
So I was 14 and I had this boyfriend who was 28 years old. My parents on my 14th birthday wouldn't let me stay out past 9.
My thing is this. Yeah, they're still in a way talking. Well, let me rephrase this. The police isn't talking about this little black girl. The community is. They're on TikTok. I'm actually following the lady that's a part of the foundation on TikTok. I posted a few things on my stuff. They're on TikTok, Facebook. But why aren't the police saying this little black girl still missing? Why can't we see their face out there? It's great that the community is so supportive. But why can't the police be, die for us. Because her mother was broke, living in the shelter. She wasn't a Carly Reed or whatever her name was.
p.m. And so I called him and he said, pick you up in 15 minutes. Don't take anything. So I think that's the number one thing when we call kids missing. That would appear to be me running away. At 14, no child can consent to getting in the car with an adult, period. So it's actually called kidnapping. When I was 15, they did a raid. And when they did a raid, I told the police I was 15. I said my real age. And I actually said I had a pimp. And so I was arrested and put in juvenile detention for a year. But there are other survivors that speak out who are Caucasian. And one of the survivors, she's a good friend of mine. She got found in Tennessee. She's originally from Virginia. When she got found in Tennessee at 15, the police drove her home to Virginia. And I got arrested and charged for prostitution.
On the story that has shocked people all across this country.
Thousands of volunteers have been looking for her for weeks.
We're announcing that we have found a body that the coroner has identified.
I don't think the media cares more about the white child. I think media definitely airs what they think people are more interested in. So it's a byproduct of what goes on in the world. So what the world has shown pretty consistently throughout the years is that Black children are lesser valued. They're not cared about as much.
Although Black children are overrepresented in US statistics on missing children, they are underrepresented in the news headlines. A study in 2015 found that 35% of kids that disappeared were Black, but only 7% of media stories on missing children involved African American cases.
Media used to call me and ask me for a white survivor that was 13 years old, and I'm not making that up. People would say this to me like, no, I get the numbers on the African American girls, Tina, but tell me, how many Caucasian girls do you get? Some of the looser statistics do say 73% of trafficking survivors in the US are people of color.
You mind taking a flyer? If a white person went missing, you see all this rigmarole, all this media, all this hype, and then you look next door and it's a Black person missing under the same conditions, and they didn't get that.
When I was accepted to SGU, that was one of the greatest days of my life.
The faculty at SGU really have helped mold me into becoming the best doctor and physician that we could be.
This is so comforting to know that people care enough about you and they care enough about your education to help you begin your journey. That's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Wow. Arrested. Child.
Switch to Google Fi Wireless and get Simply Unlimited.
Wow. Time went fast. 7:12. I got on at 5:30. Well, I just wanted to come on here and I really wanted to talk about that movie, but then I said to myself, oh, I don't want to say really a lot because I want to, when I do movie night with the girls and whoever else wants to join the movie night, please join my Patreon. But because somebody put the link down to Patreon, that's why I stopped talking about Black Girl, the movie, because we're going to watch that on movie night. If you girls haven't seen it, I've seen it, but it'd be cool to watch it again. But I really wanted to come on here because when I saw that movie and the guy said the ratings, the white girl is missing, the ratings are going crazy. So that's what we're gonna stick with. So because the black, I can't say too much about the movie, damn. But because the Black girl, so it's all about the ratings. I don't know. You know, I need to get somebody on this channel, and I really want to do a podcast, want to do a panel. And I want to have some will be content creators, that does crime or whatever. But I need some people that's in the field. I need some people that's in the field when it comes to trafficking or the FBI or the police or some type of shit. I need some of them up on my panel because we need to know what is going on. Like we need some assurance, and we need to know how when is it going to get better? How can we help? How can we help each other? Why did Carly Red go viral like that? Why was she everywhere? Helicopters flying, FBI and everything. And she's not white girl with blue eyes, but her parents got money. Is this the case? I need some people in the field to come on my platform that knows some stuff that can help us understand some shit. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Kathy B. I need some people on here. So I'm going to be doing my research, and I'm going to be looking around and doing some research, and I'm going to put a panel together on this crime channel. And it would be the first panel that we had like that. That we ever had, because I've never had a panel before. I've done interviews, but I've never had a panel. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this channel from now on. Those of you that just now coming in or whatever, I started writing my book, so I'm really focused on that. And I got classes again soon. I chose not to take the GED test because I am not prepared to take it, knowing I'm going to fail that shit. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, okay? So I chose to take the classes again and then take the test. Yeah, I'm not ready to take the GED test. I'm just not. I thought I was, but in my heart, I knew I wasn't ready. I was just gonna take it just to say, well, at least I took it. That's not enough for me. Forget what everybody else thinks. For me, that's not enough. I want to pass and get a certificate so I could try to do something else with my life. And I know that I was not studying as hard as I should have been studying because I was so focused on doing things with my videos and making interviews and these, helping parent, just doing what I need to do to be a content creator that does crime, right? So I kind of wasn't studying as hard as I should have been. So no, I'm not taking the GED test, but I'm going to go back to the classes and do the classes again. Yeah. I got this. It's all good. I got this. I want to do another live on just what's been going on mentally with me, but this ain't the place for it really. I usually talk about it on here, but this is my crime channel. So I'm not going to do it here. I might do it on Facebook or TikTok or maybe Instagram because I don't even go on Instagram, live. And I barely go on Facebook live. I'm starting to go on TikTok a little more. But when I do go on there and just do a little story time of what's going on and stuff like that, please keep your notifications on all platform if you can. If not, I know how to hit y'all up. I'm going to end this video. I just wanted to let y'all know about the movie and why is it that we are not taken serious. We are taken as he or she ran away. They're out there having fun. They took a bunch of pills and they probably committed suicide. They was fast. I've heard that one. It's never on the news. It's never viral. It's never the mother sitting down on the news reporter's chair telling her story. But Carly Red, I think, is that her name? Let me go back. Carly Reed, or whatever her name was. She was the first one that we seen that happen to. And I want to really get into and find out more on why. So I'm going to do my digging before I open my big mouth and just start spilling shit that's not. But that's why we say allegedly. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to do a panel, and I'm going to have some content creators that does crime. I have a few that I know who I'm going to ask. And I have a few that are newcomers. I say newcomers that I'm going to ask as well. But then I also want to go into the industry part of it. Until I would say police academy world, FBI world, trafficking world, the business like those, and see if anyone will come on here and we could discuss some things. Because I want to take this channel more than just this person's missing, this person's missing, and this person's missing. And this is going to be an interview because her daughter's missing. And this is going to be an interview because his daughter's missing. And I know I've done so many interviews and I'm doing that and I'm still going to do that, right? But I kind of want to do something else also with Brooklyn Squad Real Life Drama, because it's good to do these interviews and stuff like that, right? But we still don't know the meat and potatoes of why the hell are we not taken seriously? How can we get the help that we need? So when I do an interview on a parent, I could at least give her some suggestions and lead her in the right direction instead of, we're going to keep praying for you and we're going to keep posting your child's picture and talking about your child. That's all good, right? But I need to give them a little bit more. I want to lead them into another direction where they could get the right help. Even if it is another platform of Black girl missing in an organization or something. And that's where I'm at today. Yeah, I lost so much weight I could fit Dave's t-shirt. This is crazy. I can't believe it. I just had to say that. Because your girl, hold on, let me just. I lost so much weight, y'all. Your girl could fit her hubby's t-shirt. Okay, an extra large. Stop playing. No, this is a 2X, actually. A 2X, extra large. Like, I went from a 5X. Unbelievable. Let me just show you. So I can't believe it. I was so shocked. Like, I just put it on. He was like, babe, that's too big for me, but it might could fit you. You lost so much weight. And I was like, I can't fit this. This shit would be too tight on me. It fits perfect. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, y'all. Yeah, I can't really see, but I wish y'all saw the before and after. So I started doing before and after pictures before. Oh yeah, I do have a picture that I was bigger. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it on here. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. I'm about to eat something. And I want everybody to have a blessed, safe day. Blessed, safe night. I didn't prepare this, to be honest with you guys. This was a last minute thing. my thing was to work on my book today. That was what I was gonna do. Just work on my book and maybe upload some stuff on my other channel and stuff. That other channel is growing. I got almost 100 subs, but the views are not good. I think because I'm using my phone on that channel instead of using, making it presentable, maybe using StreamYard. I don't know. But I have some ideas for that channel too. I think I'm gonna start doing reaction videos. I like reaction videos. So, but anyway, y'all, it's one day at a time. Easy does it. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Everyone have a blessed, safe night, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys. Please share the video. Thank you. Oh, the Cody update. Oh, you see things differently with the Cody update story? Yeah. I actually want to do a panel on Cody as well. Yeah. I actually want to do a panel with Cody as well. I got a few things that I want to work on. So, yeah. And you are definitely welcome to come up and talk about the Cody as well, Kathy B. Of course, because you're the one that told me to ask me to, can I? But I ain't even done with Cody. Oh no. I have a few other things that I want to check up into. So yeah. I'm actually looking into um wasn't the father dating someone? I know it's on my thing. So I'm looking into that. I'm trying to reach out to some people. I'm even trying to reach out to the father. Yeah, girl. I'm trying to reach out. We'll see what happened. All right, guys. Have a blessed night. Peace. Bye, y'all. Oh yeah. Oh, there was a guy that a girl he was dating or something like that, and one of my new subs put it on my comments. She told me the name of the girl, I believe, but I'll let you know though. Yeah. So I'm looking into some things. All right, guys.